Boy, how about that? 14 seconds left in that fight. Here he comes, Dinh Bates from Memphis, Tennessee, Rick Severa and Team Mid-South. 6-5, but every single fight he's in seems to be fireworks from the start. 5'9", 189-pounder. He is coached by Jeff Mullen. Will be cornered by Khalil Boyd and Alan Weems. We've seen Dinh Bates an awful lot here on V3 Fights.
We have. You see Alan Weems back there, Paul Kimball. Team Mid-South, Jeff Mullen was just hired by the State Athletic Commission in Nevada, and he's no longer in the Memphis area. So the school is actually kind of on their own now. They're trying to find their own home, but these guys want to stick together, so they're still training with each other. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do without the coaching of Jeff Mullen.
That's great for Jeff Mullen. Interesting that Dinh Bates, still filling out his bio sheet, considers him still his coach. But you're right, now they're going to have to reorganize. But that's great for Jeff. Really good news.
They're all Team Mid-South still, according to them.
Well, the lights are lowered here in Minglewood Hall. The music changes up for our opponent for Dinh Bates. Here comes Caleb Jenson from Lowell, Arkansas, and Intrepid MMA. Coached by Mr. Seth Anderson, who we'll see later on in the card, and Mike Wright, cornered by Wright and Skylar Mann. He is a perfect 4-0 so far in his MMA amateur career.
Tell you what, this kid's hard to match. People are scared of him. He's really not a 185-pounder. He's a 170, a small 170-pounder that can drop to 55. But to find a fight, he said, you know what? I'll go up to middleweight. I don't care. I just want to fight. And here he is today, and I'm really excited to look what Coach Mike Wright, you see Skylar Mann back there. They've got this guy ready, and I'm excited to see him go at it.
He says he's motivated by mixed martial arts because it's an opportunity to eventually provide more for his son. He feels that he could turn this into a professional career.
I think he's got the tools. With all the people that were scared to fight him, I think a professional career might be in his near future.
Works in Bentonville, Arkansas, so it's Arkansas versus Tennessee in this particular matchup. Caleb Johnson, little Vaseline put on his face by our cut girl Crystal Morrow, and here comes Caleb Johnson, or make that Caleb Jenson. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Again, Jenson undefeated at 4-0. He has a height advantage on Dinh Bates as well. Both boxers, and he is 25 years of age. Dinh Bates, hard to believe he's still 21. Seems like he's been fighting for 10 years.
He has.
Let's get the official introduction of the two as we go inside the cage to Dustin Starr.
Bout is brought to you by Platinum Jewelers. It is set for three-minute rounds in the middleweight division. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge of the action, the third man in the cage, again, is Eric McMahon. Introducing first, out of the blue corner. He wears the black trunks with the silver trim, stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, and weighed in at 189 pounds. He has a record of 6 wins and 5 losses. Representing Rick Severa with a boxing style and fighting out of Memphis, Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dinh, the Master Bates. And across the cage, his opponent, fighting out of the orange corner. He wears the black trunks with the red trim. He stands 6 feet tall and weighed in at 181 pounds. He has a perfect record of 4 wins and 0 losses. Representing Intrepid MMA with a boxing style. He fights out of Lowell, Arkansas. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Caleb Jenson.
Jenson with a lot of folks behind him as you heard that applause, making their way from Arkansas here to Memphis. 73-inch reach for Jenson. Bates, though, a 71-inch reach. That should not be much of a difference. Caleb Jenson, can he stay unbeaten? Round 1, here we go on V3 Fights.
Dan is definitely a dangerous opponent. He was on a 4-fight losing streak. Went to fight Bradley Gibson for a championship bout. Bradley Gibson was 8-1. Dinh threw a kick, knocked him out in 9 seconds.
Well, right off the bat, you see how the elevation is with his kicks, although he wasn't able to tag Jenson, but he can really elevate on those kicks. He can go midsection, he can go right up to the top of his head, and Jenson's a pretty tall opponent that Bates faces. Very dangerous. Bates tried that Superman punch there, a little bit off the mark. Jenson kind of feeling out his opponent. See that leverage right there? See that height? Bates kind of ducking and running there.
He gets it up there, but you know, you've got to kind of look at the endurance right now of Dinh Bates. He normally fights at 170. He weighed in yesterday at 189 pounds.
Yep.
He looks a little softer than usual, so we've got to look at what his conditioning is now that he doesn't have Jeff Mullen guiding and mentoring him.
That's a great point, Jason. He's the heaviest he's been on V3 Fights, fighting at 189. Good head movement there, though. Nice right. Tag Jenson right there with the right. Couple of knees. And now looking for the throwdown, but he's unable to do it. He kind of slipped when he tried to do it.
Look for a head and arm, just trying to force it. A little bit of judo style. Doesn't work when you don't have a gi. You've got to really get your footwork in there. See Caleb just kind of pops out. Now he's in a full mount position.
And that was quick. That was quick. Now he'll try to rain some ground and pound. Again, putting Bates down where his reach will be more effective.
Let's see what Caleb can do here. He's got plenty of time, minute and 10 seconds. Does he set something up? He's got his knee on his stomach.
Oh, big hammer fist. 3 in a row. And then Bates says, come on now.
Watch that up kick.
Just missed right there as Bates got back up to his feet. We see the leverage there, also the kicking ability of Jenson. They both tag each other as we are under a minute to go in this first round.
Let's not forget, Bates definitely had a nice overhand right that did hurt Jenson.
Right, started up, there you go. Spinning back kick off the mark.
Just didn't have the kick in it.
Right. Bit like a gymnast trying to make a certain jump off the balance beam.
Oh, wow.
Unable to do it. Jenson, big right, nice combination.
Jenson definitely using that reach advantage.
Oh, another big right by Jenson. He follows it with a right. And these are combinations. It's not one at a time, man. He's going in there with combos.
Definitely keeping his head on a swivel.
Another big right for Bates, who's banged around here in this first round. 10 seconds to go.
Dinh just kind of tried a desperation spinning back fist. That's what makes Bates extremely dangerous to fight, because he does this unorthodox stuff.
Well, you have to be very, very careful. You're right, if you're an opponent of Bates. But boy, Jenson, when he got it going there in the last minute and a half of that round, he took control. We'll see some of the action from the first round. That was the initial right, yeah.
Right. And it hurt Jenson a little bit, but you see he recovered, he ducked. This is where Dinh Bates went for that head throw. Threw it poorly, set it up poorly, and Jenson was able to capitalize and get into a mount. Throw some hammer fists, but he's got to watch. When he brings his knees up, it's legal for Dinh to kick to the face once those knees are off the mat. Some pretty good combos like you pointed out. He's throwing 2-3 at a time, backing up, setting up, coming at an angle, and throwing a couple more. You know, he misses the 1, he hits that 3.
There you see him getting some words of wisdom from
Mike
his
Wright.
corner. Mike Wright, Skylar Mann in his corner. Good first round for Caleb Jenson after the initial big right from Dinh Bates. Action-packed from the get-go. Round 2. Here we go.
See what the game plan is here. You know, Dinh Bates' brother, James Kangaroo Wells, so these guys definitely like kicking. And you can see Dinh Bates has it as an arsenal. He can get those legs up there. Knocked out Bradley Gibson with a leg kick in 9 seconds.
Now, normally we talk about him when we introduce the tail of the tape, usually like a kung fu or some sort of specialist as far as that's concerned. Now we say boxer, and he hasn't done a lot of boxing. He's throwing some punches now, but you know, the better boxer in that first round was Jenson by far.
Jenson very, very technical with what he's doing. Dinh, the unorthodox guy. He's going to throw stuff you don't normally see, you don't expect. But he can be dangerous anywhere. He submitted Terry Johnson twice with the same armbar, so he's got skills both standing
That's a good right by Dinh Bates and another overhand right. You're absolutely right. You better be at the top of your game, because if you let your guard down 1 second, Dinh Bates could, lights out, whether it be a kick or a punch. Bates being a little more deliberate so far in the second round, being a little more cautious as well. Can stare down his opponent, but not throwing much now.
It's like Caleb wants kind of change to defense here, counter striking. Looking for him to get some kicks in his arsenal.
Waiting to strike as well. Oh, look at Bates trying for the takedown. Jenson prevents that from happening.
Just a really good wrestling defense there, takedown defense, but he's see if he can avoid getting pushed into the cage. And he follows it up.
He comes
with
out
the
of
right,
it with a combo, yeah.
And he's still going. He hasn't stopped throwing punches yet.
Well, he was waiting. He was saving up for it. Now a big right there by Jenson. Overhand right and an uppercut. Bates backs off.
Probably just threw 20 punches.
Bates gives up his back there. Another right by Jenson.
This is about to get stopped.
It is very close. Jenson will get those arms free, and he'll land a couple of more.
That's it.
And it's done. It's
he
over.
turned his back.
Yep.
That's a TKO.
Well,
anytime you turn your back, Eric McMahon, one of the best refs in the region, he saw that that was enough.
Not only did he turn his back, he stumbled back towards the side of the cage, and it was just too much for Dinh Bates. But boy, Caleb Jenson. Again, we talked about the fact that he is just 25. He wants to turn this into a professional career to help provide more for him and his son, his family. And he looks like he's on his way.
It all started off that takedown defense. Dinh Bates shot in a double leg. Caleb defended it, and I don't think he ever stopped throwing punches for 30 seconds, and he landed almost every one of them, and that was enough.
Well, right now they're taking a look at Dinh Bates, making sure that he's okay. Again, you can't say enough about Dinh Bates. He is a gamer. Your point about the 189, the extra poundage for Dinh Bates, may be a difference maker, but I think he just ran into just a great fighter.
You see Dinh, he turns his back and runs away there. That's an automatic TKO anywhere you do it. Now, Dinh also took this fight on a little shorter notice. His teammate, Khalil Boyd, was originally scheduled for this fight. Khalil Boyd had some nerve damage, pulled out. Dinh said, I'll step up for my teammate.
Well, he's an anytime, any place kind of fighter, no question about that. We always appreciate him putting on a show. And now up to his feet is Dinh Bates, and now we'll get the official time of this TKO win for Caleb Jenson as we go to Dustin Starr inside the cage.
Your winner of this contest, 2 minutes and 24 seconds into the second round by TKO, Caleb Jenson.
A lot of happy folks here at Minglewood Hall made their way from Lowell, Arkansas, and that surrounding area as their man gets the victory. Coming up next, we go to the heavyweights. Keep it right here on V3 Fights.
Just action-packed fight all the way. Caleb Jenson looked great out there. Dinh Bates is definitely a game opponent, but like I said, look, he's just throwing punch after punch. He does not stop throwing punches until Dinh Bates had to walk away and Eric McMahon stopped this fight.
Well, how Dinh Bates was able to stay on his feet after that overhand right just hit him flush. And you see he's kind of stumbling around, and
he's going to the body, he's going to the head, he's going at angles, and there's your winner, improving to 5-0, Caleb Jenson. And this kid has a bright, bright future ahead of him.